Down the Bray TV, we've got the new gaffer, Tony McInally, with us tonight. So Tony, welcome to Darvel, and good to finally get a chance to sit down and speak to you. How are you finding stepping back into management?
Delighted to be at the club. I think Darvel's a progressive, ambitious club, and I'm really excited to be at Darvel. Just with the facilities that are here, the project that started off with Michael, and the success, the brief success that the club's had in terms of winning the league, and also the Scottish Cup run last year was very exciting for the supporters and the players and the community. So yeah, fantastic to be here.
So for Darvel fans that maybe don't know who you are, could you give a wee quick brief just on what you've done in football, even maybe both professionally as a player and as a manager? No, I don't have all night, so don't get through your others.
Yeah, I mean, I quite resume. I played professional football for a number of years. I started out at St Mirren, never made it through. Had a brief spell at Ayr United, then a bit disillusioned with football. I went and played with my friends amateur for a few years and got the love of the game back. Managed to have some success at teams like Heathside and Dale High School, and then I went back and played professional for Queen's Park and Albion Rovers before playing with Shotsborn Accord and Benburb at the juniors before retirement. I was 36. In terms of being a manager, I've been manager for 13 years. I had a year at Cumbernauld. That was my first experience. I was grateful for George Watson to give me the chance to go in there, and I built a young team, and through that success I managed to get the Lanark United job. So managed to get back-to-back promotions from the First Division all the way through to the Premier League, winning a league, and had a really good team at Lanark. And then a strange quirk of fate, I ended up going back and managing Shotsborn Accord for just under 5 years, and I had a tremendous success there. Again, sort of tried to replicate that model of having a young, hungry team, and we won the Scottish Cup and leagues and League Cups and stuff like that, and we got to a number of other finals. And then I went to Pollock for just under 5 years and had a great time there. Great club, great fan base, and thankfully I built a really good team and great players that played for me there, and won 6 or 7 trophies, went to another couple of cup finals, get beaten in penalty kicks with Beath, and then I had a short spell over before and during and after the pandemic at Cumnock before taking some time out because we had a family issue with on my wife's side, but thankfully that's we've overcome that bereavement now, and just delighted to be back in the game.
Good.
In terms of how to expect my teams to play, I like fast, exciting, attacking football. I like to score a lot of goals. I like to work with great talents. I like working with a couple of really potentially great players in that kind of 19 to 21 range, but the majority of my team I like to be between sort of 22 to 28, and then have some good experienced players at that top end of to encourage the younger players, pass on experience, pass on knowledge, so that's the kind of target group, the age profile that I like to work with.
Yeah, excellent. And just talking about that, obviously talking about the younger players and the sort of age profile that you look at here at Darvel, we've obviously now got the full pathway in place, as early as the 2017s right through to 2003s, with a few of the under 20s now getting a chance in the first team squad under the interim manager Darryl Meggett there the last few games. Just how important is that to you and probably your team about having that pathway here?
I think it's massive. I've always encouraged that sort of academy in development. I've done it at Pollock. I managed to bring through 3 or 4 cracking talents from the 17s and 19s into the first team environment. And one of the kind of big success stories was Mohamed Niang. He's nicknamed Senna. Senna came into the first team environment as a 18-and-a-half-year-old, and came in, played pre-season, worked in the first team environment, trained with us for 6 months, done his pre-season, then started the season really strongly, and he played a full season for us, and then he earned a move to Partick Thistle. So I was delighted for him. He's now down at Hartlepool United, but I think encouraging young players to come through the pathway, that development cycle. It means that you can grow your own. They're already embedded in the sort of Darvel culture. They want to play for Darvel. They've done it from 17, 18, 19. And then when we bring them into that kind of talent group, into the first team, it's always good that you give them that period of adjustment, for training and playing. And then when they eventually start for Darvel and come on as a sub and whatever, they're already familiar with the other players, how we play, what kind of style of play we play, fast attacking football, 1 and 2 touch round about, and and it shouldn't be a surprise to see young players coming through during my time at Darvel.
Great, excellent question. So what I was going to say is, success is ultimately what fans will want to witness at any level, I suppose, of football. What's the point? Otherwise, you've obviously had a lot of that, both as a player and a manager, which you've spoke about. How do you begin to try and even implement that at Darvel? And what do you do to try and get your stamp on it?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to earn and gain the respect of the group. There's talented players at this club. There's quality players at this club, and I've already spoken to the players. A lot of them, are on side with what we're trying to do, and they know where they went wrong last year. Underachieved, didn't win the league or didn't retain the league. Bees deservedly won it. In terms of cup competitions, fantastic run in the Senior Scottish Cup, but that sort of not to overlook the cup runs last year. Not going beyond the third round was probably a big underachievement in the group. So what we want to do is, I think there's a determination, having spoken to the players, to come back stronger, to come back and achieve more next year. I think there's unfulfilled business for Darvel in terms of the players. All the players are on for next year. We want to maybe reduce the squad size down from 26 down to maybe 20, and add a few development players into that. But of that 20, 22 players that we want it to be real quality operators, quality players, and hungry players. That's important to me, to have hungry players that want to do well for Darvel, for themselves, for the club, for the community.
Brilliant. And obviously you must have had a few opportunities to come back into management, as you spoke about. I get that obviously you had a brief spell out and stuff like that. So why Darvel? What was the draw?
I'd probably 8 to 10 offers to come back into the game, but nothing that really excited me. But I've kept an eye on Darvel. I like the style of football that was implemented by Michael. I will tweak that style of football to the style that I wanted. But an ambitious, progressive club. You only need to look at the facilities, the dressing room, the types of players that have been attracted to the club. Also, the players that I've signed are quality performers, and I want to deepen that quality in there. But you can see the ambition and progress that Darvel's made. I think modern thinking committee, they really want the community involvement, and the fan base is growing, week to week, month to month. The town's buzzing, with things last year, with the Scottish Cup, and we want to keep, encouraging that, buzz about, the place. But that comes from putting a winning team in the pitch, and also a style of play that the fans want to see.
Brilliant. Okay, and obviously, who would you be bringing along then as your backroom team? Have you managed to get that far yet?
Yeah, so I've brought in Stuart Alson. He's been, a coach with me for a number of years at all the clubs I've been at. Also, Brian Whelan, the goalie coach, is back with us. So we've put the boy band back together again. But Brian done a fantastic job at Beath last year. Spoke to Chris Strain, and he wanted, while I was out of the game, could he work with Brian. Brian thankfully done a great job at Beath. Made the player of the year was a goalkeeper at Beath, so it showed that he worked his magic. Absolutely. There. But Stuart's a proven coach, a proven trusted lieutenant for me, to work with. Other people that I've brought on board, so I've got, my scouting team is in place, so excellent. Hugh Houston and Mark Cameron. Also, we've brought in, we've got the physio, Andrew O'Donnell. We've also recruited a sports scientist, Josh Earley. So they'll all form part of the management team, and but we're always looking. I'm looking for maybe one more coach to join us. I've put feelers out for you know, one person in particular, and I'm just waiting on a decision on that. So hopefully I announce that in due course.
Excellent, brilliantly. And lastly, can you tell us an interesting fact about yourself, something that we've in there already?
Not really for the camera, but no, I mean, by day, you know, I've got a global, I work for a charity called Mines Advisory Group, and we lift landmines and we take weapons and ammunitions off countries in conflict. So we're in 32 countries. I'm the global technology, head of technology for them. So working in 32 countries, I'm a wee bit of a technical nerd, you would probably say. You know, so I work a lot with software and hardware and networks, and just trying to make the world a smaller place or a bigger place, however you look at it. You know, that people can be connected across different time zones, over the cloud, stuff like that. So I'm a wee bit of a techie nerd. You know, I've been to university twice. I've got 2 degrees behind me. So yeah, you probably could say that, you know, that's been really my career outside of football, has been really technical in what I do.
Brilliant. Well, let's just hope that your starting 11's explosive then. Pardon the pun. No, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks for speaking to us, Tony. And all the best. Looking forward to getting started.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that.